Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Hacking Self-Storage. So today we are going through our October figures, our month in total, what went good, what went bad, and there's been some massive improvements. However, it was still a massively negative month, but it was literally, it was nearly 3,000 square foot down at one point in the month. So we did well to rally and get it back. Today, I'm going to try and keep this message around about 10 minutes long. The reason being is I'm taking my kids to school. I've got meetings all day today, so I'm trying to just fit everything in as quick as possible. And this is probably the only time that I get to record this podcast. Shout out to Angela, who actually sent me this at 18 minutes to 1 this morning. So thank you, Angela, because now we can do the podcast. So I'm just going to take a quick swig of tea. I know it's riveting, isn't it? Riveting podcasting there. Okay, so let's get on with it then. Amount of quotes. We had 217 quotes for the month, which was really, really good. That's an average of 7 quotes per day. Number of reservations. Check this out. 76 reservations. Wow, that is beautiful. 76 reservations. So reservations, quotes to reservations, it was a 41% conversion rate. Unheard of, absolutely unheard of. That is brilliant. What a fantastic month we had in terms of reservations. Move-ins, we had 69 move-ins. 69 move-ins. This is October, my friends. Remember, all we can control is the move-ins. We can't control the move-outs. 69 move-ins was incredible. And that was a conversion rate of 32%. 32%. Remember, we aim for anything over 25% is acceptable. 30% is outstanding. 32% is just criminal. It's illegal. It should be illegal. I got that from Rio Ferdinand. He was talking about Ronaldo. And he goes, it should be illegal. It should be illegal. So now I keep saying everything should be illegal. And I think I'm as cool as Rio, but I'm definitely not. In my head, I sound as cool as Rio when I say it. And then when I hear it, when it comes out of my mouth, I'm like, oh my God, you sound like a right geek. Okay, right. Enough about that. What else? Oh, where did our quotes come from and where did our move-ins come from? This is very interesting. Again, it's the same line, same trajectory as what normally happens. Google, obviously the most inquiries, 153 inquiries. That was 70% of our overall inquiries. It was 15, but we moved in 41 customers from Google for square footage of 3,525 square foot, which meant that the percentage of the square foot was 57%. So 58%, if we rounded up, 58% of our overall square foot move-ins came from Google, 59% of our move-ins. So don't forget, there's two different things there. Square foot move-in is the amount of square foot, obviously, and move-ins is the amount of move-ins. So two different metrics there, but it's very, very similar. 58% of square foot moved in, 59% of actual move-ins from Google. So interesting. So it took up 70% of our overall inquiries, but around about 59 or 58% of our overall move-ins or square foot moved in, which was, it's interesting again, isn't it? Because it just tells me that Google inquiries tend to be the most, but the hardest to close. They are cold leads, a lot colder leads, but we're still doing very, very well from Google. Word of mouth was 18 inquiries. That was 8% of our overall move-ins. And it was 18% on both of them, 18% on square foot moved in and 18% of overall move-ins as well. So although it was only 8% of our overall inquiries, it was more than double that for our actual move-ins. So incredible, because word of mouth obviously is a hot lead. Signs. Expected signs to perform somewhat better than this. 29 number of inquiries, 13% of our overall inquiries, and it hit 14% of our overall move-ins and 16% of our square foot moved in. You would expect it to be a little bit higher, because if you're seeing the signs, that means people are local. So it's okay, but we want to boost that figure just a little bit there. Beverly 24 was 4 inquiries. That was 2% of our overall inquiries, and it was 3% of our. So basically, someone's come to Beverly, we can't accommodate them in Beverly, so we move them to Stormore, and it was 3% on both square foot moved in and overall move-ins as well. Used before, this was a little bit disappointing. We only had 4 people who used before. That was 1.84%, so 2% of our overall inquiries, and we had 4% 4% of our overall move-ins, but just 2% of our overall square foot came from used before. Social media, we do posts all the time. Clearly, we're not doing... we don't put a lot of time in social media. I disagree with people who say social media is key. I just think, can it work? Yes, it can work. How much time are you putting in to make it work? And there's more. It's like your 80-20 Plato principle. I want to be concentrating 20% of my efforts to get 80% of my returns, and it would be the other way around on social media. 80% of my time to get 20% of output. And it's just, I keep saying it, we've got the data for years and years and years, and we used to do a post a day on social media. And so it's not as though we didn't do it. It's not as though I'm not trained in social media. I love social media marketing. But social media marketing, I've got to be careful of the time here. I've got to whisper the rest of it. Social media marketing, I keep saying it all the time. In self-storage, it's an intent-based product. There needs to be an intent. Where do you go when there's an intent? Don't say YouTube. You do not go to YouTube. YouTube's how-to. Second biggest search engine in the world, but it's how-to. If there's an intent, you go to Google. You don't go to social media. It's a branding exercise scrolling through it. Yes, you can do retargeting. Retargeting really works, but that wasn't the first point of call. So you would never know if the retargeting actually, well, you would know, but you would never actually show up on these figures here, because it wasn't, if we retarget them once they come to our website with pixels, etc. But we will not we will not do it to cold audiences now. It's just not worth it. We had other 5 move-ins where one from Bing. Bloody hell, I never knew we had 1 from Big, 4 from removals. Removals were fed in 100 square foot. Yeah. All right. Okay. This one is interesting. Google ad spend for the month was only £3,654. Incredible. The actual cost for Google per move-in was £89.14. So we were acquiring a customer from Google for £89. You would do that all day long. £89 in, nearly £1,000 out. You would do that all day long. You would give Google as much money as you could. I promise you that this cost will continue to go up and up and up and up in the next years. So take advantage of Google right now. Google is a gift for us. Don't put a cap on it. If you can, well, obviously cash flow, depending on cash flow, but if you can afford it, do not put a cap on it. It's ridiculous. Why would you cap it? £89 in, £1,000 out. It don't make any sense. The actual cost from Google per square foot was £1.04. That is unbelievable as well. Some great figures there. Okay, so the numbers moved in was 69 move-ins. We had 6,130 square foot move-in of new square footage. Incredible. Other square foot moved in, we had extra as well. So the total square foot was 6,715 square foot total moved in. Beautiful, absolutely incredible there. 6,715 square foot in October. Unheard of. How much move out did we have? Holy shit. 8,105 square foot moved out. All-time high. Busted my balls. But remember, we can't control that. We can only control a move in. So net result was 1,390 square foot moved in. 8,105 square foot moved out. That is a lot. That is a lot of square foot. Amount of rooms moved in 69. Amount of rooms moved out 88. Total net for the month is minus 19. So we got 348 internal rooms occupied. Let's have a look. Containers in 13, containers out 11. So net was 2. So we've got 39 containers. Amount of car parking, we had 1 car parking moved out. So we've got 11 now for the total store. Store occupancy, we've got 31,245 square foot occupied, and that is an 81% occupancy level. Lock sales were poor. Packaging was poor. Average sales per packaging per moving was £12.59. That's pretty poor. Let's have a look. Actual revenue, including VAT, was £86,549.81. Let's see what else. The amount of insurance sold, it was an average. We sold £329,000 worth of insurance. It meant that we was averaging £4,768 of insurance. A little bit bad there, a little bit bad, because we want to be over £5,000. That's a par. So a little bit below par there. Number of times the van was rented out. The Transit was rented out 27. The Luton was rented out. I'm going to tell you after a quick word from our sponsor. I forgot about our sponsors. How could I forget? Here's our sponsors. Luton was 24. Total van revenue was £1,890. That is brilliant. So it pays for the cost of a van, and the customers get a great deal as well. So everybody wins. Win for the customer, win for us as well. FIFA reviews. It wasn't particularly good, the FIFA reviews. We had one FIFA review 5-star and one Google review 5-star. So yes, good reviews, but ultimately it wasn't fantastic. I'm just going to try and find the churn rate, because the churn, holy shit, the churn will be massive. Where's the churn? Here we go. Wow. This was actually, the churn rate was the most as well, which is interesting. I'm looking here. Yeah, the churn rate. Oh, there was 1 month that was worse than that, and it was literally our first. It was our like 4th month. The churn rate was bad, but obviously it's 4 months. You got no customers, so it doesn't really matter. So the churn rate, in terms of based on square foot, was 25.85%. The churn rate based on actual customers was 25.58%. That is phenomenal. The only thing we can put it down to is stamp duty end. So people were coming out of the storage facility. Stamp duty recently ended, and we had an influx of people moving in at the same time. And so we've had an influx of people moving out at the same time. So that's the only thing I can put it down to. It's something to keep an eye on, though, because obviously we can't continue losing 25% of our customer base all the time. That is incredible. Good job we had an amazing month with move-ins, because it was an amazing month. Well done, team. Amazing month for move-ins. Just the square footage. Back of my mind, I do keep thinking, is it because I was so aggressive with a 20% increase in prices? Is that the reason? Back of my mind, I keep thinking that. Was it? I don't think so, because of a time when people moved out. But have we distorted the goodwill? Is there no more goodwill with us as a brand, because we increase the prices that much? And they're thinking, fucking hell, we can't move out now, but we can move out in 4 months' time. And then as soon as we can move out, we're going to move out, and we're never coming back. So that is, I want to be, there's no point doing this podcast if I'm not completely honest with you. That is at the back of my mind. All I can do is on the data is suggesting that it wasn't that because of when the people moved out, but maybe they couldn't move out at that time. I don't know. So it's just something to keep an eye on. Let's have a look at our revenue check, see if I can quickly find it. I can see here the kids coming outside now. So James at Stormore, revenue check for November so far. Revenue check for October. Oh no, that's not it. Revenue check October. So basically, Stormore, we were supposed to take 87,000. This is a true period revenue, £87,473.95. We was negative £924.14. So not too bad considering the last 2 days of the month were Saturday and Sunday. So happy with that. Beverly, true period revenue was £16,306.69. Actual revenue was £3,618.17 more than that. So really good figures on the revenue. So at the end of the day, cash is king. But there's other supporting KPIs we're going to be aware of as well. Okay, guys, interesting month. Very, very interesting month. Loads of data there for us to analyze, look at, go through. But overall, the one worry for me is obviously the churn rate. Losing that amount of customers is huge. Is it anything to do with price increases? My gut reaction says not, but you always default to the way subconsciously that's how we've been alive for so many years as a human being race. We always default to worst case scenario. So if you hear a rustling in the bush, then you almost always think of it in the olden days, way back. You always just think of a lion, tiger, snake, something going to kill you. So you run away. You don't go and approach the bush and go, whoa. Then people were killed off. So it's us careful people who always think worst case scenario that have evolved the Darwin's, and so therefore, you always think worst case scenario. So us as a race, as a species, we always think worst case scenario. So I'm thinking worst case scenario, but I've got to offset that and say to me, does the data actually show it? And the data doesn't back it up, but the worst case scenario of my thought process says it could be. Is it? Problem is, we'll never know. We will never, ever know. So it's very interesting, but something that I'm aware of. And so we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll can't do anything else. But it's interesting. At least we're aware of it, because so many people are just blinking and don't actually look in and delve into the figures. And they're the people who will start struggling in many, many years to come when the self-storage industry comes really, really populated. And there's you've got so much competition out there. I think it's a Goldilocks zone. I've said it a million times. I think there's a Goldilocks zone right now. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. It's perfect for us to really expand. And if anybody's looking to get in self-storage, I can't bang this drum enough. I think self-storage is massive for people. All right, guys, I've got to go. Friday's episode is talking about an important KPI. Don't fall in this trap. All right, guys, girls, thank you so much. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'll see you soon. Bye.